Welcome to Gehenna Virtual Horror Con. We are playing Black Void by Black Void Games tonight. Definitely want to thank Drive Through RPG and Astral Tabletop for supporting and sponsoring this event. Definitely check both websites out. I know Drive Through RPG has many sales going on at all times. You can even find Black Void over there on Drive Through RPG. Astral Tabletop is really fun, very easy to use, and it has some pretty cool animated rain effects that I like using. So if you ever want to rain on your party's parade, Astral Tabletop. I'm going to take some flack for that pun, but it's cool. So other than that, virtualhorrorcon.com for the full schedule. You'll see me here tomorrow running Zweihander at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you'll also find a plethora of other cool events and things that you can check out. Definitely check out on the website the charities as well. I know they got two that's going on right now that are really cool. Definitely check that out. See what you can do to support. Always appreciate and appreciate the love, especially during this time. The love needs to go around. So without further gilding the lily, I am Penny Fortel, as you can kind of see right there below me, also known as Mitch. And why don't you guys each introduce yourselves and we'll kind of just hop into this terrifying world. Bob, why don't you go first?
You're muted.
Okay, we're good now?
Yeah, we can hear your sweet
I missed
voice.
a button. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob from 25 Years VTM. I, of course, tonight will be playing Tamo, and it's an honor to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Jay?
Hey, my name is Jay. I'm playing Amos tonight. I am one unbeating heart that you can find on Twitter and on Gehenna Gaming. So.
Heck yeah. And last but not least, character name Asiri. What's your real name or handle?
I'm Steve. I'm the storyteller over in Vancouver by night. And tomorrow we're going to be doing 8 hours of Vampire for Jasper's game day. So it's going to be, stressed.
Oh, I love Jaspers. They do great stuff, but hopefully it all works out. Please get some sleep and good luck for that. One question though, what is the best clan?
Gangrel.
You're wrong, but that's okay. It's Tremere as the sovereign clan of the White Tower, but it's okay. It's okay. We still love you. Any case, so Black Void by Black Void Games, you can see it right here, as well as a shirt that I have, is a TTRPG that focuses on humanity during the Babylonian times that has been brought up and swept across the stars from Earth, inhabiting the strange planets in these dark denizens. There's only a couple of conclaves where humanity is allowed to be humanity. Otherwise, they're in this wilderness of eldritch beings and trying to survive. The game allows you to play different types of humans because obviously, like, you got your normal humans, but humanity is going out in the stars. They're going to get jiggy with it with something. So there are half-bloods and full-bloods, so humans who kind of have a little bit more of that eldritch blood within them. You have the ability to have these eldritch powers and blood sacrificing rituals and all this cool stuff. So it's a pretty fun and dark game using this very sexy D12 that I have. And you can, of course, get this. Oh, God, the lighting's horrible. But you can, of course, get this on blackvoidgames.com. Any case, our story today is set on a primitive planet run by a very particular Asura. An Asura in this case is this yellow-skinned, majestic being standing about 10 feet tall. It has 3 heads, one kind of pointing forward and 2 on the other side that grin and grimace and pretty much have autonomy on their own. only one of them speaks at any time, usually the front-facing one, especially to the 3 characters we have here. The planet in of itself is a dark world. Not much sunlight gets in at all. Very few times during the year will you actually be able to see anything. But there are these dark crystals attached to the hovels that you resided in this beautiful mansion that the Asura lives in. That guides all the slaves on a day-to-day basis. The heat kind of rises up from the planet's core, so your feet are always a little bit warm. It's damp and humid. And every year, there's this special event where the master of the house invites several friends over, has a lovely dinner, and then you guys have been a part of the process of making this thing beautiful and this beautiful ceremony. But every year they ascend one slave so that they are freed and returned to a place where they can run around like free humans, go play, frolic, be merry. You, of course, have never seen this actually take place. You just know that slaves that have chosen are no longer with you anymore. So why don't we go around and describe kind of what your character looks like, their general, like, what they're thinking about tonight, whether they hope that they'll be free or they hope someone else will be free. There are other slaves that are prepping in the kitchen here, and everything is kind of like this very clay, mud-like walls with these green veins that almost look like jade that are pulsing throughout this clay hovel of sorts, just outside the mansion, which is surrounded by 10-foot tall walls. But yeah, we'll go around in the same way we did introductions. We'll probably just do that for the rest of the time. So, Tomo.
Tomo is a rather bulky, so I'd say a very hardy individual. He's a guy who has adapted well to life, but he does not believe in probably ascension. To be honest, it's not for him. He really wants it, of course he does, but he has a past. There's many things he's trying to outlive, and it shows in his actions. He's very much willing to help and to see things through for other people. However, it's still nagging in the back of his head. What about now? If he could ascend tonight, wouldn't that be better than being stuck here, despite what life he could make from it?
What task do you think Tomo would be doing to prep for this whole thing? What is he a cook? Firewood?
For the most part, Tomo would be going around and helping people stay sort of, well, where they could be seen. It's not good to go missing around these parts. Tomo has a very unique thing, a map. Just him being here was always smart to know where people were coming and going, and folks would know. Tomo did hang out with a gang, and he backed away from them for things that best ask Tomo about. But for the most part, he's seen helping other people of the community. A lot of people assume it's out of guilt.
That's fair. All right, Amos.
Right, so was a soldier prior, so kind of muscular build. He's 47. Really looks like my face, except muscular at this point. Dark skin, features, eyes, black hair, which is graying. He definitely really appreciates to try to protect his friends and make everything work. He definitely does not like disloyalty. And unfortunately, he also has a little habit he's going to try to kick at some point. That's about it.
Fair. Does he see loyalty to the master as something to revere, or is it more so loyalty between you and your fellow humans?
Oh, it's between me and my fellow humans. And yeah, he's not sure if he believes in the ascendants, what is really happening to these people. So I'd rather just escape and get off this planet.
Excellent. All right. Asiri, go ahead.
Asiri has kind of black eyes and copper hair, kind of nondescript clothing, tries to keep, trying to draw as little attention to himself as possible. and he's just probably helping out around the kitchen.
Excellent. As you guys are working around, just for my sake, why don't and we'll do this first check here right now. Why don't you guys give me a presence roll? So this is a basic trait roll. You're gonna roll a d12 and then times 2 your modifier. So you'll see that on your character sheet. Those circular things with the outer circle being the modifier. Yeah.
You said presence?
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
All right. So say that again. We roll a die and then it's add the modifier.
Yeah, times
two.
2 for the basic roll.
All right. I have a 10.
Ooh. All right.
If my presence modifier is 0,
Yeah, it's just a
All
roll.
right. So is mine. So
yeah, then it's 10 on my end. I just rolled a 10.
I'm a 4.
All right. So it looks like, for the most part, people are drawing near to Asiri and to Amos. This is a stressful time, and you have like some of the younger kids like trying to pick your brain on like who was ascended before and how can they get ascended and what's life like outside this planet. So yeah, how do you guys respond?
Still trying to. Oh, go ahead.
Good.
Aziri is still trying to stay as far away from people as possible, even though they're essentially kind of being drawn to him. He's just like, "Oh yeah, look over there," and then he like goes in the opposite direction.
It's like, ooh, in out.
Amos is just kind of trying to stay a little stoic. He doesn't know how to deal with all these people and everything. He's just been a soldier all his life, not really a people person, and just staying with his group. So
Excellent. So the door opens and you see the kind of head servant to this Asura, whose name can't be kind of pronounced by the human tongue. So everyone just calls them God for the most part. This human who's been here forever, an old man with like a thinning hairline. One of his eyes looks like it's been plucked out, so he's staring at everyone with this like empty socket that blinks every now and then. He keeps it open. He does not close his eyes, so you can kind of see the veins and the way it's kind of been almost cauterized on the other side of it. He walks in with a gait, leaning heavily upon a very long bone staff. It's hard to tell what creature it came from, but definitely a large and great creature. As he looks around, his eyes lean and rest upon Tamo, and he starts creeping forward. If you've ever been in that awkward situation at work where someone gets a little bit too close and maybe a little bit too friendly, this is what's happening here. He just doesn't seem to have an appreciation for personal space, and you can smell his hot breath like on your cheek or your neck, depending on how you're facing it. It always, despite whatever it's fed to the slaves, it always smells like ground beef of some sort. And he
Tamo is just going to keep his head down. Let him do what I assume this happens a lot. It's establishing and reestablishing ownership. And turns out that he's really good at that. And just being still and let the assessment happen.
Yeah, he just like every like overreaching manager, like what you're doing is perfect, right? You've done this before over and over again, but he just, he's like, why don't you move that off to the side here and, just really, it's got to be perfect. You understand that, right, Tamo?
He'll nod twice, and he'll hop too. I do mean literally do a small hop, even for a guy of his size, to show
Yeah.
that he's excited to do it, and we'll move it accordingly.
Excellent. Tomo, I had a question for you, if you don't mind indulging me.
Of course.
The master is particularly interested in choosing two to ascend this ceremony, one prior and one during.
Is there something that you would like me to do?
Yes, by divine providence, the master desires you to choose within the next 5 minutes the individual who will ascend prior to the ceremony. It will not be as much of a fanfare as the normal ceremony, but it's a little bit of kindness that they have bequeathed to you, Tomo.
I am honored. Tomo will bow deep and hold his place in reverence
Yeah.
of the scariest info he's probably ever received.
Yeah, you see that like wrinkly hand, like tanned leather, reach up and just kind of like pat you on the face, on the cheek, before turning and kind of dragging his leg out the slave's quarters in the kitchen.
I definitely need to find Amos. I believe that's a must at this point.
Yeah.
He's going to go look for him.
Amos, where can Tomo find you?
Probably alongside with Asiri, but at the same time, just trying to avoid the crowd. Actually, staying along the edges because at least I can use a wall as like some sort of comfort zone.
Mhm.
So, not sure how far away we started to where he is at this point.
It's probably so all the slave quarters and the kitchens are connected by these very tight tunnels. It pretty much just allows a plate to be held within your hand, usually a bowl. But you can feel the walls on either side brushing up against your elbows, no matter how much you kind of squish it in. Especially for Tomo, who's kind of this beast of a person. So
So
it's
it really
just down
doesn't
one of
make
those
room
tunnels.
for two people at all, then, huh?
Correct. Yeah, you always it's a one-way tunnel.
Gotcha. All right. I just continue along the way, and probably past the kitchen at some point.
Amos, do you have a minute?
Yeah, what's up?
It's kind of it is important. It's you ever given any thought to ascending?
See Amos actually look around a little bit. Truthfully,
Oh yeah.
no.
Okay.
Do we ever know what happens to these people or ever hear about them ever again?
All right. Now you're with me. I never really put that much thought. It was always like that happens to somebody else. Never. We work so hard for what we have here now. You know, those few blessings that we can get, but
I'd rather ascend on our own, let's put it that way.
oh, I agree with you. Ascend on our own, and that's a novel idea. What if, though, hypothetically, or rather, just a few minutes ago, because I'm pressed for time. What if God came to you and said, "You must choose one now, with little fanfare," and He'll give you a wink, like, and we know what that means, right? One now, and then one with all the fanfare, right?
Uh,
I was never this nervous about it until they said, "Well, tonight we need two." It kind of feels like I want to, get a snack in now, and then later on we'll share with everybody else.
a lot to share.
Well, I'm an open guy. I mean, he gave me the keys to the kingdom. I mean, I could just choose me and say, yeah, me right now. And then take me now, and then later, good luck. Hope I see you. And that's great. Except, what if that means I end up, in between some. I don't want to go where my imagination is taking this. It's almost too good to be true.
I think it is too good to be true.
So you think it's a test?
I don't think it's a test. I just think at the same time, we really don't know what's happening. So I'd rather just give it to some other sucker.
A Siri, that's exactly what I thought. Right? What if I tell a Siri, hey, you're the one who's like blessed almost by the stars themselves? What if it's you who I got to relay the message to and let him decide, hey, maybe he knows.
We're a bit of a core group, so I'd hate to. I mean, you can ask him if he wants it. I guess we could go for it. But like I said, I'd rather the three of us just try to get out of here.
You know where he is? Let's ask him. Let's bring him in. I'm not against it. I'm just saying,
It wasn't too far behind me, I don't think.
Let's find him.
Good.
All right, Siri, depending on where you are, you might have even kind of heard this from where you're perched at, but I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, I'm still in the kitchen. I'm just keeping busy, like, I don't know, potato peeling or something.
Let's into the kitchen as if, hey, Siri, good job.
Yeah, I know.
Hard at work. Hey, Amos and I were just walking around thinking that if you could better anything around here, what would it be?
Better potato peeler.
All right, so I can help with potato peeling right now. If you can help me figure out a quandary.
Go on.
All right, so let's grab a potato and using like an edge of something. This isn't usually my forte. I normally point people around, but it seems like it just, regardless of how I'm fondling this potato, what if I told you that there's a possibility of what if you can ascend right now and had the power to just be like, pick anyone? Would you do it?
Hell yeah.
Who would you pick?
Myself, obviously.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You would do it?
Yeah, get me the fuck out of here.
You really trust this ascension?
I mean, have you seen
what happens to them after?
probably better than here?
Are you sure about that?
I mean, are you not sure about that?
I'm not sure about it, but at the same time, we never hear from these people ever again.
Are you sure that you're not sure about that?
Okay, you can keep contradicting, but
Are
if you want to go, please go.
Sure that Tomo's not sure, that you're unsure, that I'm not sure, that I know what I'm doing?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know that you don't know what you're doing, and that what you're doing is what you know, or at what point you did know that this is what you knew.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Here's the thing. We got to really decide what ascension is. Because if ascension's a great thing, like I thought about this. I really never thought about it. Like I really honestly went about, listen, we all know a little bit, right? The gang I ran with was about getting resources, a lot more humans here. There's a whole planet. It's grind. There's little wars that do happen here that just aren't big things because you don't want to anger the master, right? That's what it's all about. But that doesn't mean those resources are going to pass around us, right? That's what we were about, and that's all we knew. It's a little microcosm of, if you can't be king of the universe, then be king of your world. That's how it looks at, just small. So that's what I was looking for, is a little piece of the pie of my own. But now, ascension's possible, a shot to the top, and I have an in. You might say, I have God's ear, we'd say. But there's the three of us, and I agree with Amos on one thing. He said two, one on the down right now. Don't tell anyone, right? I can pick that, and he thought it was amusing. He even touched my face. Right? That's as good as it's the blessing that it gets. But at the same time, why would you not want anybody to know that the master is being so benevolent?
Maybe
It's
he
not-
just didn't want you to cause a panic.
Is that it? Or I thought, see, Amos, I'm back to this. See, in this Siri, what if it's a test? He wanted to know if I would just shout it to everybody, if I'd use it for my own ends, and maybe he knew that I know this would be a good bargaining chip. This would get me back in with the gang I was in. Right? I mean, that's more power. They understood why I did it. They knew what I had to do to get to where I was. I might even get like a better position there, if not at the right-hand side. I could be smart and pick the head of the gang and say, hey, it's mine now. Go ascend. It's yours. Think of what we could do with that. But then there's this thing in the back of my head. What if they're going to eat him if they're going to eat him? I mean, it's a weird thing to think about, but did you ever wonder why they smell like hamburger?
Might peel them just like a potato.
Probably eat beef.
Thanks for that, Amos.
That's what's for dinner.
Well, think of how we live here. We're taught that this is the condition to survive, and I agree. It's nice here, right? And it could be worse, much worse. But at the same time, yes, it could be better.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, my time's up anyway, and Amos, you're certain.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. I'd rather try to find our own way off this planet.
Okay. Okay, Siri, I'm going to pick you. And thank you. But if you're able to come back or send message or send word, and it is great, I don't care how great it is. This is fair because it could also be really not great. And then don't send a message. Like, even if you can. If it's not that you'd eat. I'm going to go not peel your potato. And,
so you don't want me to send a message even if it's great?
Right, no, send a message if it's great, but if it's bad, don't send a message. But then I thought that
if
through.
If it's bad, I might not be able to send a message. You guys are real fucking downers. You realize that, right?
Well, no. I mean, it was his thought that I'd be lying if I said I didn't think of it. Best of luck. I will deliver the news, and all right. I'm gonna be over here in eyesight with a little more room outside. Awkwardly, Tomo's just gonna go step outside, believing he either helped his friend or condemned him, and that does not sit good with him.
All right, Tomo, you know that the head servant has his own servant's quarter attached to all the like tunnels and stuff that you guys have. It's the only one with a door, so he does have some privacy. So if you wanted to deliver this wonderful, beautiful news, you can.
I absolutely will, but I will wait a second and stick my head in. You know, Siri, you can come in with me right now to the quarters. I mean, if it's supposed to be on the down low, and it is, we could just make that happen right there, let them know, and off you go.
Sorry, it's me. Yeah, all right. Let's do it.
Good. And Amos, if you want to go for a walk just cuz, I mean, why not?
As you say that, all of a sudden you hear a little, and then Amos turns back around, and it's like, they'll probably go for a little walk.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's a little cold.
That happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
I'll lead. I'll just Tomo will start walking. He will even double check his map just to make sure. It is definitely that way. It's the longest walk ever for him.
Yeah. It goes on, and like the others are watching Asiri as you guys move, whispers between them, but everyone's trying to just kind of go back to their work. It's usually not good for them to focus or dilly-dally for too long. What was really only about 10 minutes is really like it feels like an hour when you finally see the thick wooden doors which lead to the head slaves' quarters.
All right. So all I got to do is knock, and okay. He'll knock. He'll look at his Siri. He seems hyper about it, and he'll bang hard twice.
Yeah. The door creaks open. Of course, like everywhere else, it's dark. But as the door opens, one of the kind of pulsating veins within the hovel reacts to the sound and starts to illuminate this like red, violet glow into the chamber, reflected in the eyes of this old man staring at you through the crack in between the door and the mud edges of the door frame. And once again, ground beef.
Tamo would just bow his head, and slaves wait to be spoken to.
He looks. Have you made your decision, Tamo?
Of course, a Siri is the choice.
Okay. Siri, you are blessed beyond belief. And though I do not like the idea that you will be in my chamber for an undeterminate amount of time, is that the master desires it. So, Asiri, come into the chamber, into my chamber.
Yeah, walk in.
Sit. Yeah, he kind of moves a little bit, tripping in of itself. This place is circular. Several of those pulsing veins crisscrossed in the mud walls. There's no bed. There is a few kind of these pelts, leathered and tanned, as well as a little chamber pot that might be where the ground beef smell is coming from.
Yeah, I'm going to sit down wherever he told me to sit down.
Yeah, he just kind of motions to the fabric, which might be the approximation of his bed. He ceases to look at Asiri, and his eyes kind of gaze over at Tamo. You and I, it's best we leave them to their business. He hobbles closer to you, trying to get past you. It's this little.
Of course.
You can you can give me a check, so it'll be an awareness check, and this is for Amos and Tamo with you guys facing him. Asiri, you can make it as well. You'll just be at a -1.
Okay.
I'm not facing him, am I?
You're behind Tamo, and he's coming that way.
No. I'm outside the door, right?
Yeah, he's coming out of the door.
Oh, all right.
Out into the hall. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought the door was closed.
Oh, it's cool. So this is it's a full skill test. So you'll be using awareness and observation if you have that skill. Otherwise, it's straight awareness. You won't be multiplying it by 2 because the expectation is that you're either using that observation or you're not.
Would observation be written in that circle?
Correct. Well, no, it'll be right below it under skills. So if you don't have it, you're just rolling a d12 plus the awareness modifier.
All right, I'm at an 8.
So I get -1. Like if I have +1 awareness, that would even out, but I would just include the observation.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so I have 10 total.
All right. How about you, Tomo and Amos?
I had 8.
I rolled the 6, but I have a -1, so that's 5 then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
I see nothing here.
Yeah. It's kind of really
Those herbs have kicked in.
Oh yeah, it's and what you were peeling is the closest you can get to a potato without it being a potato. If you can imagine a kind of a gray skinned orb like thing that's squishy, so it almost has the feel of an old potato. With liquids that kind of drip out of it if you apply too much pressure, and when you cut into it, there's just kind of another layer of potato skin underneath of whatever this kind of fruit-like object is. It does have a very peculiar sour taste to it and a grainy aftertaste in your mouth. But that's generally what you all eat, though you do know that it is sometimes used as an appetizer for the higher ups, and it's cooked in a very special way with this kind of violet fluid, almost like a marinade. Any case, the most you're kind of busy trying not to be seen, so even glancing in your peripheral, you can only really distinguish that this creepy head servant is kind of moving forward towards you with Tomo, with the Siri right behind him. Tomo and the Siri, well, specifically Tomo, looking at him, you can see there's like a little bit of water in that one eye he has left. Um, a slight vulnerability and even kind of a swallowing of something as he gulps and moves forward. For a Siri, when this gentleman turns and walks away, you can kind of hear a slight quiver in his voice, something that you've never heard whenever he speaks. He's never on your guys' side. He's very much a loyalist to the god, but it's kind of a very vulnerable moment for him, but it's gone in an instant.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep sitting till somebody comes along and tells me to move.
Just keep sitting. Just keep sitting.
You know, Siri, are you sure you're good? Yeah. I'm making sure he's at a earshot.
Yeah, you kind of wait in the just outside of his room, almost looking like you're about to go through the tunnel as this old man is proceeding down the tunnel very slowly, grasping at the walls.
Is this whole... Is he melting? Did I get that right? Is he like...
It's more so it feels like a tear, or maybe something has kind of aggravated his eye, one or the two, but it feels, especially with kind of your viewpoint and perception, that he's going through like an emotional moment.
Okay. Now I'm getting it. Yeah, Siri, this is going to be very... I want you to know I always liked you. I liked how talkative you were and forthcoming with all the info and always good for a laugh. That was best potato peeler I know.
I don't know. I don't care what anybody else says. You're not a complete asshole.
Thank you. I'm gonna leave you to it. I mean, you can only go up from here, right?
That's a plan.
Tomo's gonna make his awkward departure again. It's just been awkward moment night.
Yeah,
for Tomo, he's gonna be heading out.
Excellent. Tomo, as you kind of turn, and almost you don't even see it. One moment you're in this empty hallway. Next minute, there's this 8-foot tall figure wearing a dark green cloak. The cloak kind of sparkles and reflects, so it looks like a green mirror though its fabric is movable and it kind of almost recoils from any heat, so it lifts itself from the ground as well as away from humanity. It's really hard to see what's behind the cloak, though several arms, about 8 in total, are wrapped up in the kind of sleeves of this cloak, held together. So it's hard. You don't see any sort of skin or any kind of appearance of what could be beneath, other than it's very tall and has multiple arms. But it's suddenly just right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna hope. I'm gonna jump to the side. Much like my leg was broken and just kind of almost fall and stand there and just get out of its way.
Yeah. It moves forward.
Can I make an awareness check to try to see more inside the robe?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, wrong die. It was a D20. I'm like, oh, that's a good number.
That would be a good die to roll.
This made up for it. I have a 0.
Oh. Yeah.
I rolled a 1 and I have a -1. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. So describe, how are you trying to get a good look at this entity?
Well, I'm literally actually taking his sleeve and trying to look up his sleeve at this rate. If I'm getting a 0, I take it. And I'm like, waiting probably for the arms to disconnect and slap me away from him. Or just kill me, but
Yeah, it doesn't seem to really comprehend what you are doing. There's a strange absence of smell around it. It's very stale, very neutral, mediocre. It just smells like nothing, which in of itself is a very strange smell. As you kind of try to look under the sleeve, you notice that there are several what looks like nails, kind of wrapped up together, almost like a dragon's scales, but this kind of clear nail-like substance, wrapped up into each other in what looks vaguely like a hand, with 8 fingers. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a resistance check, using your willpower. So yeah, D12 plus your willpower mod.
It's my
I super believe in you.
Of course, it's also a -1 for willpower. I'm like, what the hell? But what does it mean with the addiction moderates written in there?
Yeah, so during character creation, within these bubbles, you kind of put in different, like almost like feats or merits, depending on what system you come from, and it kind of alters things. So disadvantages, in your case, probably is why you have such a penalty there.
Gotcha. So I rolled an 8, so I have a 7.
All right, cool.
Anatomy doesn't help me at all, does it?
No, not for this case. It's definitely, if anything, it might make it worse. But with that roll, you're able to keep it together despite seeing whatever. So how do you keep it together?
I just I'm like kind of cringe at it, and I just slowly back away, folding the sleeve back together so I don't have to look at what's in there. I'm just gonna step back a little bit. Let him pass. Or it pass.
Yeah, and it just kind of glides forward. The door opens by invisible hands. It looks like the pulsing light that's normally lit up when the door was open before, and just kind of shrinks and shies away from whatever this is as the door closes with Asiri and this creature inside.
Bye. Yeah, I still try to hang out outside the door because I just don't trust the scenario, and I'm getting ready basically to bust the door down if I have to.
Yeah. So Asiri, it's pitch black. You feel the leather kind of tanned skin underneath you. It's not really that soft, especially with the hard, almost jagged floor underneath. What sounds like the pitter patter of several hundred little feet move about this small hovel.
Well, that's not normal.
No, it is not. So why don't you give me a willpower test?
Power. All right. 11.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I have 3 on the willpower. Like, what does that mean on it?
Uh,
I don't have anything in the smaller circle.
if it's a, let's see, you had a series. Let me go over to that character. Yeah, those just dictate the advantages and disadvantages you have. So,
Okay.
yeah, compulsive liar at 3 dots for mild.
So I was lying when I said Tomo wasn't a complete asshole.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh man. So yeah,
Mostly, I don't know.
yeah, not a complete.
63%. That's what I'm gonna go with.
The next feeling you have is this almost numbness as you feel like these little puncturing, almost like little needles grabbing at your feet.
So my feet go numb? Like,
Yeah, kind of like
Okay.
the bottoms of it. It feels like whatever is happening, this is a very slow process.
so yeah, I'm gonna pick up my feet then, like, or try to move. But if my feet are basically a sleep type sensation, that they're basically kind of dangling, and I'm like, that's not cool.
Yeah, it's you guys, Tomo and Amos, kind of hear like a little bit of shuffling from behind the door. For Siri, you're trying to get up and everything just feels very awkward. You haven't like lost complete feeling of the feet. You have enough so you can kind of stand up, but it's just very awkward without that feeling underneath you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to do the kind of shuffle walk thing
Mhm.
that you would do if your feet are asleep. Like, you can't quite.
Yeah.
Do I still feel?
Yeah, it's it feels like whatever is happening has kind of been made a little bit worse, as this kind of weird, as you're trying to fight this numbness, you also feel kind of a sharper pain in your foot, possibly even around your ankles.
Okay, like, I'm gonna probably head to wherever I remember the door being, but I've never actually been in this room before, so it's like somewhere in that direction.
Vaguely,
Yeah.
that, yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty small one, so like you're starting to lose feeling as it kind of this whatever icy feel kind of creeps up your leg, but
I'm gonna start pounding on the wall because I'm like, I don't like this.
bad touch. Tomo and Amos, you hear kind of this pounding on the other side. Asiri, you find your hands finally kind of feel the wood, but
Okay.
the door in of itself doesn't seem to be budging.
Is there a doorknob or anything to try before I actually attempt to bust it down?
Yeah, it's really this piece of wood that's kind of splintered off of the wooden door that you just kind of grab onto and slowly pull it back. You don't want to get too rough with it because it still has some splinters and could kind of cut a hand. And maybe that was the intention, but
All right, so I try to open it then.
yeah, it just kind of wiggles in Assyria. You feel like the door start to shake a little bit.
Okay, well, is it a push or a pull from my perspective?
It is a pull from your perspective.
Okay. I'm gonna get out of the way of the door.
Excellent.
I changed my mind. Amos can go first.
Go, Amos.
Does he literally say this?
Yeah.
So do I see any weapons or anything from this creature?
So first you have to get past the door. So if you
All
want
right,
to
so the
do
door-
that, yeah, the
Yep.
door hasn't opened yet.
All right. Yeah, let's
so
open the door.
Excellent. Go
The
ahead and give
door is
me
strong.
a strength test.
Please tell me this is actually a good one.
Fear the door.
Let's
Fear the door.
– 10 in total.
Ooh, excellent. All right, how does this happen?
Since I'm assuming I'm having difficulty pushing, but not realizing he's on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally just using my shoulder with my padded armor and just pushing it right in, and just to shove whatever is blocking it out of the way.
Excellent. Yeah, the door kind of cracks and shatters, specifically on the bottom and the top side, as if there was something holding it in place from those two angles. So it splinters on the inside, just kind of flips out as light, the darkened light kind of pours in from the hallways. You see a Siri in what looks like, if you can imagine a room full of cockroaches or rats swarming around. The whole floor is covered in what looks like these nails, very similar to the nails that you have on your fingers, just kind of moving and slithering around. And several of them have punctured the bottom of a series feet.
Are these
so
the
you
things
see
that I
blood.
saw when I was peeking in his little arm?
Yeah.
Oh. So, okay. Yeah, lovely. All right. Guess it's time to attack him.
Going for it.
Oh, yes.
All right, let's do this. So go ahead and make an attack roll, and then afterwards we will roll for initiative.
All right, where is...
Yeah, so you'll see you'll be using strength, and then you have small blades as well.
So, yeah, I wasn't sure. So small blades will also cover the dagger, you said?
Yeah.
Is the dagger pretty much the same modifiers?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so you said first make a strength roll?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you just you can use the attack modifier since it's already on your sheet. So just that, it has everything calculated in already.
So that is +3 then?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that is a 9.
All right, cool. Nice. All right. So you smash into it. What does this look like? How do you especially like they're swarming around the floor of this place, and some of them have punctured a Siri, though there's no blood. It's peculiar because the nails around his feet almost have a red tint to it. But yeah, how are you? You could just lacerate a Siri's foot off, but it's up to you.
I'd rather leave his appendages intact, but I'm definitely going to probably try to slash at these needle-ish things that are all amongst, even if I can just get a couple at a time right now.
Excellent. All right, so for a dagger, go ahead and give me we'll use your short sword damage. We'll just divide it by 2 for that dagger, so it'll be a d6 divided by 2 for a d3 plus 1 though.
Okay. 3 damage.
Excellent. All right. So these things just kind of explode and gasp like smoke or some sort of dust kicked up from sand. Several of them in this red mist just are accentuated just into the air around you. Yeah. Tomo, what are you doing?
Tomo is shocked, like because he suddenly charged in, did what he did. He's just gonna pull his basher. It's the only thing he has from his gang because it works on humans. Definitely doesn't think it's gonna work on whatever that is, but he can't leave his friends hanging. So what he's going to do is go in and see what help he can be, mainly looking to see if Asiri can get out.
Yeah. It looks like Asiri's having trouble walking at this point in time.
He'll rush forward to support him. Give him a shoulder to help get him out.
Excellent. All right. So it sounds like Tomo and Asiri are kind of waddling outside of this little hovel as best as they can. Asiri, are you saying anything or just kind of like happy to be here?
Oh yeah, I'm happy to be here. And it's Amos's turn. Amos is going. He's rushing in. So yeah, we're good.
Excellent.
It's like a trade situation.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Excellent. So as you guys back out, it looks like these nails kind of configure with themselves again, and before you is this cloaked figure just standing in the center of this hovel. It doesn't move.
So how many of these things were there before I cut him?
It's hard to say. It's basically like this what could be hundreds of these little nails. I mean, if you just imagine a creature made out of fingernails from top to bottom, swarming and moving, each one able to adapt and do what it wants, is basically what you're looking at.
So there's a fire going on in the room, right?
There's a chamber pot filled with what smells like beef, probably not. But the light comes from these veiny pulsing things intertwined with the hut's clay. Though just outside down the tunnel, there is because everyone's cooking, there's plenty of fire.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was like fire underneath the pot that he had there. So, since he doesn't, I'm probably gonna back my way out of that room before one of those things can get me, since there's hundreds of them instead of like 8.
Excellent.
And make sure to grab the other half of Asiri to help. Let's hobble along mysteriously in a one-man hallway.
Listen,
Yeah.
I don't want to alarm anyone, but as we're moving here, if we see that old guy, we're gonna have to hit the old guy. He knows we were there. I mean, it knows we were there, but maybe it doesn't matter. Just
Can we just get away from the thing with the arms?
Smo will shut up as he's.
You're more like nails.
What? Are there plenty of other slaves down this hallway as we're traveling down?
Yeah.
All right. What do I say there?
You guys burst into through the tunnel awkwardly through this very tight tunnel to where the other slaves are.
As they scream out that there's plenty of copper in a chest in the room that we came out of, just to get these slaves to run down the hallway to create havoc.
All right, why don't you? Because this is definitely something not.
Is this
all of
persuasion?
them. Yeah,
Another thing I'm great at.
I believe in you.
Actually, what is?
What we can do actually is, why don't you use your persuasion streetwise to try to zero in on probably those you've kind of worked with in the past, or those who've kind of run in circles that you have.
All right. So I roll my d12, and then what do I do? Just add the 2.
Yeah, add the 2, and then there's of course -1 from the persuasion. So total +1.
So 7, 9, 8.
Ooh, that's good. All right, cool. So it looks like for the most part, all the other slaves are like, no. But there's one or two of them who look you in the eye and kind of sense that something is off, and so they run down that hallway to see what's happening.
You guys go that way. We're going to go this way.
Bingo.
Excellent. It doesn't look like anything's giving chase to you as you turn back, staring down the tunnel and back toward the hovel that you erupted from. It's dark and there doesn't seem to be anything back there anymore.
You see anything that looks like nails, lay down in front of it. They hate that.
It's their weakness.
So the goal is to get somewhere we can kind of gather our thoughts. somewhere that wouldn't be necessarily because it doesn't look like that thing appeared out of nowhere, right? We turned around and it was there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to go somewhere where we can, I don't know, one way in, one way out, shut a door, like maybe a room.
Fire. We need fire.
There's a storage where they keep all the various local meat because this place mostly this place is on this wood mud almost like lily pad on the water. There is a nice little place with this tanned leather skin wrapped in shreds that covers this storage area. And then inside there are hooks with dangling pieces of meat, or at least what looks like meat. It's probably more so close to like what you would know as fish or something like that. Maybe
Actually,
squid.
how far away are we from my hideout location?
So your hideout location, we'll say it's like this underground place, maybe right above where you sleep. So the slaves all have these quarters with various bunk beds, and you've kind of discovered this little hole underneath yours where you can pretty much hide out and
All right.
secure stuff in.
All right. Well, lead the way, Tomo. You're the one on the front.
You got it. So that's why we're going to dip into storage area first. Is just to do a check, just to make that logical sense.
Yeah.
Tomo will lead him in, kind of prop up Siri along a wall to see how his feet are doing, and when
How are my
comes
feet
in,
doing?
A good question.
You're slowly starting to regain feeling. You can kind of see the blue veins in your feet kind of almost pulsating, as if under duress or in pain, though you feel it's numb. There are several holes, very thin, needle-like, where you can probably guess the nails have punctured your feet. It doesn't really cause any serious damage, though it's uncomfortable and probably will be painful later on.
I have some balm on me. Will that help? Do I know? Do you think?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah, you
so
can.
I'll apply that with some of the bandages that I have then.
Excellent. So why don't you go ahead and put that herbalism? And even though the character sheet doesn't have the 2 dots, you have 2 dots in there. It's kind of just a
so it's herbalism. Is it one? Am I adding or subtracting anything besides herbalism?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead? You'll be subtracting 1 because of your intellect.
Ain't smart, boys. Oh shit. 4, 6, 5.
All right, so it's not like another like thing that definitely helps with the numbers are usually pretty low in general. Like an easy check is around 3, medium's around like 5 or 6. So it's not like your best work, but honestly, there's hanging meat hooks and stuff like that. Everything's just kind of in the way, and it's a little bit creepy. But Asiri, with this balm, it's almost like electricity running through your feet. It kind of lights up the synapses, so you can start feeling your little toesy woesies again.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of concerned about that roll. I thought there was going to be like a foot taped to my head.
Yeah, like this goes here, right?
Putting the balm on your hand instead accidentally.
Yeah.
Like, this goes in your eye.
Oh, God.
Yeah. All right. So am I able to get up and start moving around and such?
Yeah, you're in immense pain when doing it. If you can imagine kind of like standing on several nails that are very thin, it feels like that. But you can move around, just kind of grimacing from every step.
Don't like that. Is there anything in here that's like weapon like?
Yeah, hanging. If you kind of lift up any of these pieces of meat, you have these this clay-like hooks, hard and sharp at the end of them, that are hanging from several of these kind of perpendicular clay poles.
That'll do.
So you just like lift a piece of meat, flop it down, grab the meat hook, and now you have it.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll just keep a lookout as we're kind of see what's here, and we're gonna have to get an idea of where to go next.
Yeah, people are moving back and forth, but you know that no one really comes in here unless they need something very specific. But knowing the kind of courses of the meals, you know that the meat was taken prior to this moment, so you'll most likely not be disrupted. You still see the feet kind of coming and going because the leather tan straps don't go all the way to the bottom, though they do seem to kind of almost grasp on each other, kind of having this little veil, probably from these little hairs that are at the end of every strip of leather.
All right. After I'd done finish bandaging up his feet, I just start going around through the room. Is there anything of use that I could take that I might find?
Why don't you give me a awareness test with
Yay!
observation that you don't have?
Oh, thank God. 10.
Oh, nice. So as it happens, there looks to be a meat cleaver. It's not made for a human because it's bigger than what you would normally associate with a meat cleaver. It's about like 5 feet in length, with a very thin blade made of this clay with the pulsating veins on it. Wrapped around the hilt is that same hairy, leathery, tan skin. But yeah, it's kind of in the corner. It looks like someone might have forgotten it or something, but
I know.
there. Yeah.
The shit show we're in.
Excellent. So for that, you can it will be a d6 for your damage.
Okay. Is it like the +3 for attack modifier?
Yeah, because you have proficiency in those blades and such.
Okay.
Oh, actually, it's a +4 because it's not a poor quality weapon. So that was putting down your
Nice.
modifier a little bit. So it's +4.
Nice.
Nice clay weapon.
Actually, do either one of you need a weapon?
He'll hold up his basher, which is just basically a club, and it's just always. Can we even hurt them?
Well, I cut a few of those little needle things out of the hundreds that are there, but it's better than having nothing.
Yeah, my meat hook.
Meat hook? Yeah, I need a weapon. Something.
So I
that
give him
cuts it.
the dagger that I had then, at least while I have the cleaver.
This
Excellent.
this is nice. I won't admit to having used this, but I've used this.
Yeah, and you can start to hear a commotion outside, the pitter patter of feet going back and forth with this hurry quality to it.
Is there get to the corner of where the drape is basically, and I try to just take a tiny little corner just to get a small peek.
Yeah,
What's going on in the hallway if I can.
yeah. You kind of put your finger and part the hairs, which like want to cling into each other, so you have to put a little bit of force behind it, just the slightest bit to part the hairs as they're wrapped up amongst each other.
So gross.
And on the other side, you're just in time. There's 2 slaves talking to each other, and one of them says, "The master wants to see everyone lined up. There's something going on. Make sure to tell everyone. There's not much time. It seems like it's just go." And they kind of like try to push past each other, just get past the hallway as quick as possible, and you see other people kind of moving down.
So where do I know if something like this is happening? Where is it happening?
So it looks like if the master wants to see, or whenever all the slaves are gathered, it's in the dining room, which is the only place with the ceiling removed. Um, there is just enough pulsing veins in the clay to have this red glowed hue on a raised table of clay coming from the ground. There aren't any chairs or stools. These creatures don't know exhaustion or don't get tired. Um, and set up upon it are these kind of clay-like figurines of possibly ancient deities that they themselves even worship. But it's usually out here, kind of in front of this almost warming rock of sort. It's where the vein is most concentrated. This dark glowing vein in this circular like pattern, and it gives off a slight warmth to it.
All right. So just trying to figure out. All right. So I let the other two know what's kind of going on. Obviously, they're pissed off. They want to try to find us. So I think once they're all in there, we can try to make a break for it in the other direction.
If we could get outside, we could flee here. There's several places I know we can lay low, at least fleeing to get from here. I think by now there's no ascension.
Told you.
Spoil sports.
I don't blame you. We had to know, right? We had to know. And
so I hung it outside the door because I didn't trust them.
But now we got to make a choice. Someone here is gonna. Well, it doesn't matter what happens to them. It's about us. We agree though. We're getting out over the wall and fleeing.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's probably time to go.
All right. So with that, I'm gonna take a last minute glance, a Yule map, just to make sure I get that in my head. The route I want to take. I want to start using those bolt holes he knows to lay low in, and with the fact that he was, he's not owed a favor by anyone here. Unfortunately, it's a lot of outside people he knows. Are we aware that if we can cause another? Here's just the idea: go out and literally cause an issue with other servants. Like if they're trying to line up the hall, just literally leave and like wound somebody, push them down, take off, and make it happen again. The assumption being, if we can cause enough havoc in our escape going out, nobody knows why or where, they're going to be too subservient to immediately respond. Well, they won't be able to communicate effectively to the master where we went or what's going on. That's his hope.
I just don't want to leave.
I have a basher.
Just a puddle.
And what it would be best described as dinnerware. That's what I am armed with. I'm not maiming anybody.
You have more than a basher now.
But I don't want to use this on us, on our people.
I don't care.
Dude,
all right, let's save ourselves.
How do you want to get out of here?
Stab a couple people and then we'll make a run for it.
Could we start something on fire? Can we try that first?
Sure. Is there any fire in this room?
Not in this. You're in a freezer type environment, slightly chilled for the meat.
A cave room temperature.
Yeah, cave is the only place not warmed.
We came by cooking fires. That was said. We can go there and start. Just help them spread.
Spill the fire. Let's make it happen.
Excellent. So you guys take off, moving through the parted leather hair. You see most of the slaves are kind of moving into the final tunnel into that dining room. A slight tremor in the ground suggests that the master, the divinity of this location, is approaching the slaves. To your right are several pots and pans, but large cauldrons of a boiling liquid that's reminiscent of that kind of beach that's lit up because of bacteria, almost like these little fireflies in these water. which seem to stick on these large pieces of meat, pulsing and vibrating within the cauldron. Underneath are fires just warming the thing up.
Okay. All right. So what do we have out around us that's I can grab just to spread the fire?
So that's kind of the difficult part. Most things around here are clay, though the storage unit, the hair, that leather, um, might be of use.
All right. Let's try it.
Excellent.
That's a plan. That's a plan. See things that burn in a storage
Plan's not
unit.
horrible. Well, mostly not horrible.
Yeah. And most you grab this leather. You kind of feel a little tug from you as well. You can imagine the little tendrils of feeling that you have on each of the ends of your finger wrapping around the hair as you pull it. So it almost attaches itself to you as you rip it off from the top mud flaps. And I assume you bring it over to the fire?
Yes.
Excellent. Right before you do, there's a small figure moving towards Amos from the tunnel.
I accidentally stab it.
All right. Go ahead and roll for stabbing.
I rolled a 9, but that is is there an add-on for?
Yeah, it should be on your equipment list, that attack modifier.
Where's my equipment? There it is. So I have 2 daggers.
Okay, so you have a +0 for your attack modifier.
Okay. So yeah, it's a 9.
All right, you hit, so go ahead and D4 -1.
D4 -1. So it's 2 -1, so like 1, I guess.
Excellent. All right, and before we take this to completion, why don't you give me an observation roll?
Right. Observation is up top, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should be awareness, your trait, and then observation, the skill if you have it.
So we got +1 awareness, observation of 1, and I rolled a 4, so that's 6.
All right, I'll leave it up to you. But this small shape looks like one of the younger men, slaves, human, just like you, with kind of dark, shaggy hair, racing towards. But do you follow through?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you puncture. I guess, are you aiming for like the chest or the face?
Yeah, like probably the chest area.
Excellent. Yeah, it punctures.
It's just like we were part of the plan. Eventually, was to be stabbing people and then running away.
Yeah, might as well start it now. Yeah, it goes right in between the rib cage, and you feel immediately this warmth dripping from your hands, Asiri, as blood kind of pools in on the edge of the dagger.
Congratulations, you've ascended.
Oh God. He stares up and kind of like grasps at his chest. You know it's not a killing blow, but it's going to hurt a lot as he falls back down and starts like grabbing at the wound.
Oh,
Yeah,
Tomo's
fine.
stunned. I'm gonna help him burn things. That guy owed him something. I don't know what it was. Payment's been seen.
Excellent. So yeah, you bring this hair leather to the flames, and it shrivels up like leaves in a fire, releasing this very smoky like substance that smells of like sweet lemongrass into the air. It's highly flammable and very smoky. The moment it touches the kind of the room in of itself, the top parts of it is filled with this almost yellow-like smoke.
Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to just run at this point. Stab guys, smoke stuff, burn things. Let's go.
Is there anything flammable on that guy?
His clothes.
All right.
That guy himself eventually is flammable.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy too.
So I drag the guy over to basically where his own hair is gonna catch fire, and basically use that to hopefully catch his clothes on fire and everything else.
Oh, all right, excellent. As you guys run, there's kind of this shrill scream heading out towards it. But yeah, we will, with that kind of finding agonizing note in the atmosphere, we will be taking a quick, let's say, 6-minute break, and then figure out what happens next to these freedom fighters.
Freedom seekers.
Freedom
Seriously.
seekers. There we go. All right, 6-minute break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are continuing on with this riveting tale through. I think the theory is a sarcophagus of some giant being of some sort, but who knows? We're here to find out. Definitely want to once again thank Drive Through RPG and Astral Tabletop, as well as make sure to check out virtualhorrorcon.com for the full schedule, as well as for the various charities. And once again, we are playing Black Void.
Dun dun dun.
Kind of like a beige void right now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fair. It's the beige void. That just wasn't as catchy. All right, cool. So last we left off, our intrepid heroes were just got done stabbing and then burning hair, and are trying to get out of the compound.
Of assortments.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. There's really no proof or no
because it's burning.
Yeah.
There's no witnesses to this particular event.
It's a
Allegedly.
perfect crime. So yeah, where are you guys heading off to? You guys know that the slave quarters are kind of pressed against this 10-foot tall clay wall that just surrounds this whole place. Just beyond it are lily pads, thick and wet, that every compound or building just kind of rests upon. And there's multiple of these that kind of form a little city in this location. So you can kind of get from lily pad to lily pad, usually by boats or the occasional bridge, though the bridges are more fluid than what you're kind of used to back on Earth, or at least the stories you've heard. But I guess the first thing is how to get over the wall.
I like stacking things. Are there convenient clay objects to stack one to the other to quickly hit the height to up and over?
Like a true platformer game, just
Rapidly.
Well, are there
Yeah.
ceilings that we can or rooftops that we can try to scale to and then get kind of close to the?
There are indeed. So you could potentially, using some of the alcoholic beverages that the creatures consume, specifically your master, that are resting outside of the slave quarters, to help you get onto the slave quarters and then over the wall. Though I think your biggest hurdle is that there are these contraptions, these things that the master has control of. They're not really living creatures, but they resemble iron maidens, with the split going down their center, with the ability to kind of open up their chest like a mouth, with long, sharp fangs protruding from them. They stand about 15 feet tall, and there's one placed on every corner of this rectangular compound.
So
There's a problem.
so we have to dismantle one of these to be able to.
Yeah, they're pretty much the guards. So it's either defeating them or just getting past them quick enough for them to react. Something's gonna have to happen, or throwing one of your friends in it. Yeah,
Who says it has to be a friend?
that's fair too.
We do have a dead body like right here.
It's just like,
It's kind of on fire right now.
yeah.
Sorry, we'll need another dead body.
Oh,
And do.
man.
Let's see. I'm looking at it. Sprinting wise, I don't know how quickly I am compared to you guys to be able to try to get past this quickly.
You get past quickly. I believe it's the order of the giant bear chasing us. This is what we're facing. We're not all going to outrun the bear, but we hope to.
All right. So let's go find something slow.
I like the
Ish.
style.
Ish.
Is this where I point out that Asiri I mean, your feet are good, right? I need to make sure because otherwise we're gonna have to hobble whoever
Sorry, you're gonna have a date with the Iron Maiden.
I'm contemplating stabbing Tomo in the leg.
Lacerate that
yeah,
back
okay.
ankle.
No, I won't do it.
It might. Tomo's not the best. No, with seriousness. Well, obviously, instead of just maiming one person, let's actually. Is there anything we can do to convince them that now's the time to leave? I mean, we got the commotion, we got what happened. I say we blame the master for putting that body in the fire, and why this happened in the first place. That master's displeased, but the master's going to kill only so many of us before he calms down. But it didn't say who would get blamed for it. In that panic, would you stay here with the chance of you getting selected for the master's fury, or would you run and flee? It's a planet. There is a chance that there are places we could go if we told them that there are. And by the way, I know them. I know where there are places we can go hide outside this wall. One problem. Everyone kind of knows in the heat of the moment, I may not be the prime. She's not here, but Amara was really she's really who I would have hoped helped these people. If we could find her, it was her wish to get them out, to get everybody out though. Right now, I know that we just don't talk about how he tripped and fell, landed on a knife in his face in the fire. We don't ever mention how that accident happened. And maybe if we find her, we can find a way out.
Pinky swear?
Pinky swear. First
Pinky
off,
swear.
you're a man who stabbed someone and who did not stab anyone in the
Allegedly.
face.
Yeah.
And Amos did not put their head on that. You know what I mean? That I don't know how that happened. That's
Right,
under
let's
the
stop
bridge.
talking. Let's get the fuck out of here.
All right, where are you guys headed?
So, which is probably the
Out.
easiest to get past? Like, out of would you say there's 4 of them?
Mm-hmm. One on every corner.
So, is there one that's actually a little easier to kind of scale the wall compared to the others?
Yeah, why don't you give me a check? You can utilize your streetwise.
Okay.
And probably intelligence or awareness.
Sorry, they're the same thing basically.
Yeah.
All right. 4.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Like, honestly, like any of them are probably about the same in regards of the response time and the ability to get over. It's hard to tell.
Which one's closest to us, basically?
The one that is closest to you is you can actually see it.
Right.
Its back is turned to you, and it's up top that wall in the corner, just gazing out to the world beyond. Everything's once again pitch black, so it's kind of hard to see. You can see its like silhouette shifting from several of the veins in the side of the compound wall, but beyond it is just pitch black.
What happens if we ever cut these veins?
It kind of you've seen it happen before. When you cut the veins, this kind of a luminescent liquid pours out, slow, like a almost like a mosquito bite wound.
All right. And so I point out to Tema, like exactly where we need to go that way. It's the closest one, shortest distance is probably best. Let's grab whoever along the way.
That's the plan. That's what we do.
It's a plan.
Sorry, sound good? Yeah.
It's a plan.
Do you have a better one?
No.
Okay. All right, so let's go. Let's head that way. Is anyone running around that's not in the food area, whatever it is there?
No, the courtyard is empty. You can kind of see that same red pulsing glow from the main dining. This kind of circular hovel where all the guest stays and where all the slaves are right now too. That's about it.
Shit, it's gonna be difficult to get our hands on someone right now. Either one of you have an idea?
And we're too far gone to start rationalizing which one and who not. I mean, let's be realistic, but not even realistic. Let's, like you said, just go. One of us, hopefully all of us get past. We might not.
All right, let's go.
All
Find
right.
someone, we can grab him.
So if you want to grab someone, you're going to have to go back through the quarters or out the side in the center of the compound to get into the dining room. You'll probably have to sneak on by to get close. Is that what you're trying to do?
No, we're just going straight up, and if we find anyone along the way, we'll take them with us.
Straight up and out?
Yep.
All right. So everyone, give me either a strength or a agility roll, depending on how exactly you're going about this. If you have a skill that would apply, just let me know and we can see if we can apply it. Otherwise,
Crap, I'm -1 on both of those.
good luck.
So it's like 6 total.
All right.
I got a 9. Streetwise wouldn't apply to this at all, would it?
No, it would not.
Hey, gotta try.
Out of curiosity, when's that ×2 happen for attribute? Is that just when you call for it?
Yeah, that's a basic
Okay.
roll.
Okay.
But yeah, not this. So what'd you get, Timo?
Oh, 11.
Oh, nice. Okay, so I
Nice.
mean, Timo and Amos, you guys are doing great. Moving up against the wall, so using those containers to get onto the slaves' quarter and then onto the compound wall. Asiri trailing behind you. The Iron Maiden, this weird creature, shifts and moves. Its kind of black eyes looking out across as it dashes forward towards Asiri.
I reach out to help
Nope.
Siri get up.
I don't. We had a deal. It's just the 3 of us. We're moving. I'm moving.
Excellent.
I'm trying to help Siri up.
Excellent.
Loyalty.
So what I'll say is, Asiri, you can make another check. This time with a +2 from Amos helping you.
You muted.
Nice. I rolled a 12.
Oh, you get to roll again then. Kind of exploding
Oh,
dice.
it's exploding. All right.
Mhm.
And a 10. Nice.
Oh,
Sweet.
Right, now he left me behind. I'm like,
He just gets up, punches you in the gut, and just goes. No, because you guys helped, you guys both get to share that success. Otherwise, if Asiri failed, you would have both suffered the
Because of
consequences.
pure like fear and adrenaline, like Timo is running and turns back and it's like, well, we left him behind. It's all right. And then like Amos and Siri like run on either side. and
bye,
pass him.
Felicia.
As you guys jump over the compound wall onto the soft flesh-like lily pad underneath, it kind of bends and moves as you, almost like a waterbed, as you touch down. You could see the Iron Maiden like creature glaring down at you as it shifts and then moves off of the wall, no doubt going to notify the others. But here you are in the dark.
And here we go.
Breathing
Keep going.
heavy. It is clear Timo is not doing well with all this sudden burst of energy in long distance type of fashion. Maybe his work required less effort, and trying to stumble, cough, make excuses to catch his breath, looking for a boat.
Yeah. So fortunately, because of the guests and stuff like that, there are a few boats tethered to the edge of this lily pad. They're tethered with the same sort of fabric that was used to enclose the freezer like storage place, that kind of hairy thing that seems to grasp onto each other. And you notice the end of this boat, which looks to be made of the same stuff that the compound is made of, that muddy clay with the pulsing veins that give a little bit of light. The end of it is covered in this hair-like substance that looks to be attached to the rope to the lily pad itself. There is one human on that boat sitting down, just kind of playing with a toy. It looks like a ball of some sort, and it hasn't seemed to notice you through yet.
So how far is the boat from us?
Just a few meters outside
So
the
an
compound. Yeah.
Easy jump, or
Oh, the boat itself, in terms of the lily pad, is right on the edge of it, so you could just kind of take a step onto it once you get to it.
oh, I go for it.
Just hopping on.
Oh yeah.
Follow.
Excellent.
Are you hobbling forward, breathing heavy?
Hopping onto this boat, it kind of moves a little bit. And this human, blonde hair, woman with bright green eyes looks at you confused and starts speaking a language you guys really aren't familiar with.
At that point, I'm going to get the club and stand upright and begin heading towards her. And I'll just point. I hope you can understand me. We need to leave now. And I'll point down the waterway and attempt to use intimidation.
Excellent. Go ahead.
My
roll.
brawn alone shall convince her that pain or follow through is going to work.
All right, go ahead and use presence or strength for the roll, and then intimidate if you have that skill.
That is 13.
Ooh, yeah. So she looks like she gets up, the ball's on the boat, and she is carefully trying to get off of the boat.
Do you know how to steer this thing?
I've never used a boat.
You? How
Nope.
simple are the mechanics on this thing?
So it looks like a paddle boat. There's little kind of spinny mechanisms under the clay that allows you to kind of put your feet into the water and start.
I'll hop on the
All right, you know what I do?
paddle.
I get up and I push her onto the lily pad. Let's go.
He's just like, all right. So there's room for one set of feet into this particular boat. Who is doing the paddling?
I guess I'm doing the paddling because he's got gimpy feet and that one's out of breath.
Fair.
True.
So you're not wrong.
I mean, who's going to watch her and make sure she doesn't, not give directions?
Really, I don't care. She's gone. She's dead to me.
Excellent. So Amos, when you kind of place your feet into the water, it doesn't have the same quality as normal water that you're used to. It's more kind of like maybe a more watery jello. There's definitely resistance.
We're gelling?
Yeah, it's gelling. You have to kind of and you do feel some things kind of moving in between your toes. Kind of looking down, you see these luminescent tadpoles just kind of picking in between the different orifices and like crevices of your feet. Not orifices, because that'd be weird.
I was gonna say. Great. It's one of those little fishy pedicures.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of
okay, I just keep going. I'm like, which way are we going? Do you know?
I actually do. As I'll pull out the map again. We're going to go to the first high out nearest to where we would be on the opposite shore.
All right. I paddle as quickly as I can.
You can see in this kind of starless black horizon, little glows like firelight in the distance. Tamal, looking at your map and looking at the distant lights, you can kind of pinpoint which one of these is kind of the general area where you want to go. So pointing Amos to that location. For Amos, the paddles can kind of like shift and turn, which kind of helps you dictate where this thing goes.
Gotcha.
But there is a ear-piercing shriek coming from the compound, and then the night sky is silent. Go ahead.
You mean a shriek like someone just died horribly, or is it a shriek like we just let loose the flying things?
Probably just let loose the flying things.
Now let's keep going. Seriously, if I can pick up the pace, I will.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me strength. Be like athletics or whatever your skill you have that might be. Yeah, athletics I think would be most appropriate.
Athletics, where's
If you don't have it, it's just strength then.
yeah, it's just strength. Unless you want to give it to me. God damn it. 5.
All right. And what were you about to say, Tomo?
Tomo has a strong sense of self-preservation at this point, but he's with his buddies. But the simple fact is that she's out here in the boat she's supposed to be, and I'm not convinced we don't smell like we're supposed to be somewhere else. The real sensory aura feel of where we're at right now makes me think everything's about not necessarily what you see, but what you smell like. That's just a weird olfactory thing I got going on. What is she wearing?
So you guys left her at the water, the pad, but she was wearing this just kind of black and grayish cloth strapped around with that same sort of hairy pin on the side, keeping all of it together.
Okay. The water doesn't seem to be hurting him. Is there a way to gain access? Like, can I just stick my hand in the water over the side?
Yeah, it's that gelatin, but yeah.
I'm just trying to gel up. That's
Gel
it.
up.
Just get a little gel where it needs to go, a little spritzer.
Can you get my back, dude? Yeah.
Put him out, we'll get it going. Get him too.
We're getting into sexy Black Void territory. I ship it. So yeah, it's you lather up. Siri, are you lathering up too, or are you just like these people crazy?
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Excellent.
I'm just gonna, I guess, sort of, kind of, whatever.
Half-heartedly, just
Yeah.
you guys hear it. It's not a flapping of wing, but it's almost like a humming, like a siren's call in the night, speaking in a language that your human tongue can't hope to replicate. It's around you, inside of you, above you. It's just kind of that cacophonous feel of it is everywhere. So why don't you guys each give me a willpower test? And because of Tomo's action, everyone gets a +2 on that.
So +2 to willpower.
Yeah, and this is that basic roll or resistance, so you're gonna double the willpower modifier.
No, it's -1.
It just stays a -1 for that.
So we
right.
get a +2 though.
Yeah, a +2.
Okay. I got a 7 total.
Go ahead.
Oh, 9.
All right.
I'm at an 8.
Excellent. So as your Amos is continuing to paddle silently, and there's no like noise made from this paddling because the water is so thick. is just silent as you guys just glide over the water. You see a face kind of dropping from the night sky, long and tenderly. It looks like one of the slaves you left behind, just attached to this long neck that stretches up into the darkness. Several of these kind of worm their way down like worms with faces, looking around, each one with these black eyes. Um, it looks like the music is coming from them, but not from their mouths, something deep and dark within. And they're moving and they're prodding, trying to search for something. That willpower test is just to not cry out, to not start sweating, to not move or recoil as they get like really close, that slithering through the air. They look like they smell through their mouths. You get intake of air as they get close to the boat.
Hey, keep going. How far away are we from this compound?
For the other side of the lily pad, getting closer to where the hideout is, it looks like about a 20-minute paddle.
This is the boat of suck. Okay,
Oh, just try to keep our silence and paddle along and try to avoid these things. I mean, get ready to hit them if they come close to us, all right?
it's survival mode. It's all you can do. Is if they come around to sniff, I'm gonna bash them in the face, stab them if they get closer than that. That's it's about all we can do, protecting him as he paddles.
Actually, are we going with or against the current of the stream?
There is no current because of kind of the gelatin-like water. It's just kind of this flat, like there's no waves or anything. You're really just gliding over this substance.
Would you say there's certain times probably that it does because it's got to digest a little more? I mean, that's what this feels like.
There's like a ripple coming from.
No, I just wasn't sure if we could kind of hold on to the sides of the boat and just go with the stream, but
No, if you stop paddling, you just stop.
Great.
So as you continue to paddle, you hear the voices in your native tongue calling out from you from the compound, though it sounds closer to you than what makes sense. You hear the come back. They're going to torture us and kill us. Come back, please. You hear like the little children who looked up to you, who hugged you, and that you spent all these years with, kind of calling you.
Is that ball still on the boat?
It is.
All right. Is it like a bouncy ball? What is it, like string?
Yeah, it looks like a bunch of that leathery hair wrapped around again and again, like a rubber band ball. So it does have some like bounciness to it.
So I pick it up and I try to like whip it in the distance somewhere else, just to see if it will distract. So what is that, like agility or strength or?
You don't have to roll to throw a ball. You're good.
Okay.
You toss it as far as you can.
I created distraction.
Yeah. You see like it lights up one of the kind of headed tendrils as it kind of opens its mouth. Light erupts from it, and all around you can kind of see this flying creature above you with these long dark rows with several of these tendrils reaching out from below it, each one with a human-like face, moving and twirling. You see an almost a choir of children coming out from this dark robe as well, looking like the kids that you had seen before, calling out your names. this ball flies through the air, and the tendrils just kind of lash out, and then it's dark again and silent.
Just keep paddling. Just keep paddling.
Everyone make a willpower test to see how you're doing.
Lovely. What's my willpower again?
Ooh, 4.
That roll is not my friend right now. That is an effective 5.
I got an 8.
Most is fine.
Because I'm the one paddling.
Yeah, you're like, I got this. All right. So for this, I'm going to roll on the fear table as some of you guys are not doing that well. And so let's see what we got. So for you, Tamo, all right, you are unnerved. You want to get away from the source of your fear for one round. Until that thing is out of your kind of vicinity, until you feel like you're safe, you're going to take a -1 on all your actions.
I'd like Tamo to use his knowledge of thug life, see what's available on the boat, and what I might be able to pile up in or hide behind without making too much commotion, because that would ruin the point of me going to sneak off.
Yeah, so looking around, there are these little boards, clay boards on this little boat. So you can kind of like crawl underneath it in fetal position underneath, especially under a most where he's sitting. Will give you nice cover.
So I won't tell him to
What are you
hide.
doing down there? Jesus.
Living.
I want to live.
So do I. That's why I'm paddling.
And for Asiri, you are horrified. You collapse quivering to the ground for 5 rounds.
I'm just gonna lay here for a minute. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I looked at the two of them and like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, they're just...
I'm fine. I'm just laying here. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Fetal position.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
You guys sense a bit of fear as the boat stops, as if it's hit something. You hear like your heart beating in your chest.
Well, I'm kind of on my own right now, so so I kind of get up from where I'm at and kind of crawl over to the front of the boat and see if I see anything.
Yeah. Looking very closely, you notice that the boat has hit the other lily pad where you need to be. The softness of it kind of quivering against the impact of the boat.
Is either one of them functioning yet?
Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
they started to regain themselves.
No. Laying there in fetal position is not fine.
Right?
That depends on your definition of fine.
How about the other one?
What is?
Have you
why
crawled
did we
out from
stop?
underneath the board yet?
He's
Yeah.
sticking his head out to be like, why did we stop?
Because we got to the fucking lily pad.
I'm bursting out. It's time to run. That's what
we gotta take the other one with us.
What do you, yeah, I'll pull him up to his feet. Like, you lay there and die, or come on.
What about, is it the woman still here or is she gone?
Yeah, you guys left the woman on the
Okay, yeah,
original.
let's go. Time to go.
Excellent.
Oh,
Running across the pads, this part is a little bit difficult because every kind of footfall makes the lily pad just move and jiggle until you get far enough into it where it just kind of feels like
jiggles and
concrete.
wiggles.
Jiggle and wiggles. That should be the name of this scenario. But you come to these clay hovels, much like the slave quarters that you're familiar with, just kind of with a little bit more character and individuality. You see entities moving in the shadows of this dark place, bug-like creatures with several arms crawling and shifting between the alleyways of this vibrant city. It feels alive, and yet it's hard to see anyone.
We got that streetwise, right? And at the very least, the got the lore to navigate outside here.
Mhm.
Is this does Tamo know what these creatures are, or better yet, are they in the way of us getting to where we have to go, or would they definitely know a better way to get there?
Yeah, go ahead and roll streetwise for me.
Yeah, same here. Can I do that?
That is a 6.
It is an 11.
Ooh. All right. So for the 6, these things are generally neutral. They're a rank above humanity, and the species that is dominant in this on this planet. They're really more skewed towards self-preservation, with a lack of empathy to others. But generally, they don't poke their noses or appendages in anything that doesn't concern them. For you, Amos, you know that like most things here that thrive, and kind of going off of what Tomo was thinking about earlier, is that they are blind. They sense through these feelers that kind of erupt from their head, red and pulsating as they move about. So they will get close. The best thing to do is to not sweat, not to give a distinction that there could be some profit in turning you in.
No sweating. All right. Otherwise, they will turn us in. All right. So what's the best way we can try to get through this city, you think? I try to keep an eye out for non well-traveled areas. So
I guess that question comes down to, do we know what's next? I mean, it's awkward to say, this has been a pretty weird ride as it is. But Tendril Face Baby Choir, it flew, right? That's the assumption.
Yeah.
The Tendril Face Baby Choir is out on her heels. I really don't feel I'm going to be like, techno Viking it down the street, showing confidence of where we got to go. I think we're doing more like Scooby-Doo in a hurry without the Scooby snacks. Just like we're sneaking as fast as we can to get through to the next way station, the boathouse.
I think that really should become a rock band.
Oh, yeah.
Face Baby Choir.
I would watch them.
Sorry.
No, I love it. So yeah, it sounds like you guys are just trying to sneak through this place, making sure you're not too close or sweating near any of these creatures.
Moving slow enough to not sweat too.
Yeah, just like calm, happy, calming thoughts in and out. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
Exactly.
Just ask Siri.
who's struggling. Siri, so everyone who was dealing with that fear, now that you're on the service and everything, you've kind of calmed down, though you still feel like the pitter patter of your heart against your chest cavities, kind of like it grows even more as most you realize, as the ground seems to shift and move, that the dominant species of these almost little cockroach-like things, they're little infants, kind of move around and through you. So everywhere you step just kind of parts in a gray mist as these things move on by.
Do you have any idea where we're headed?
I do.
All right.
It's not much farther, but it's assuming nothing else happens.
So what's there?
Well, that's a dangerous assumption.
It's a safe house. It's what the gang would use it for is just what we're doing now. We can't be out in the open at all times. Let's just say we don't do so well where we're at, especially.
I already guessed that.
But in this place, we can find a little food, a little something to drink, and definitely relaxation for at least the night.
All right. Let's head there.
All right. So for this, I'm gonna want streetwise from Tomo. Though you get a +2 from your map from Amos in a Siri. It will be sneaking. So agility with stealth will be the best check for that.
Does that include me?
Yeah, you should roll as well.
Just the agility or stealth?
Yeah, agility and stealth if you have stealth. Your character, I don't think.
No, I
has
don't.
It.
That's
Yeah.
This is 8 total.
Right.
Nice. 11.
Ooh.
Not either of those things.
What'd you
like a-
get?
2 total.
Oh, that's not great. All right, cool. So Tomo, you know you're making good progress. Now that you're in the midst, the forest of these buildings, it's starting to look very familiar as you're kind of looking at the map between the dark pulsing veins and getting the layout. Amos, of course, is doing very well despite these little critters shifting and kind of like moving in between his feet. Asiri, on the other hand, is you hear like a crunch, something splattering as Asiri's foot comes down on one of these creatures. The kind of back part of it explodes underneath Asiri's heel, and there's this smell of blood permeating this.
So that's what's in those.
Yeah.
Let's move on before they catch up to us on this one.
Yeah. As you turn the corner, you see what must be like maybe a guard or something. It is long, like a human or humanoid in shape, roughly. Though it stands at 20 feet tall, with very thin hands and feet, almost like the circumference of a baby's hand and feet. Pitch black, it seems to kind of just engulf the light that surrounds it. And the thing that kind of distinguishes it are these yellow eyes gazing down, as well as a very long and sharp, almost lance it's holding in its right hand as it takes a few steps towards your direction.
So this is the same as the other things that I know that sense by their little tendrils.
Yeah, it's pretty much many of the species native here are blind.
All right. All right. I just look at the other two and I'm like, just try to breathe quietly, back up against the wall, away from whatever it was there, and see if we can avoid it.
Say nothing, and he'll stop. He'll let that be what you do.
I'm just gonna pick the stuff out of my boot with a stick.
God, that's gross.
It's disgusting.
Does this thing pass us?
It leans forward, its hands placing down like a quadruped as its eyes kind of glancing around. Its eyes don't seem to be like rooted in one place on its bulbous head. It seems to shift around all the way around its head. Looking about it at various places, you notice that several rocks surrounding it have lifted up on their own accord. And they're all just lifting slowly until they kind of have this layer around it. And they start moving around it like little galaxies around the sun as it starts to kind of like shift and move about. These stones get really close to you guys. So all three of you make an agility test if you hope to not get hit by one of these. And they're not moving fast, so it's not damage, but it might be how it
Yeah.
moves.
I rolled a 12.
Ooh.
12 plus 9 is what? 21 plus 1, 22.
Ooh, very
So
nice.
this is agility, right?
Uh-huh.
That's a big
Yeah.
fat 0.
He got a 0. That's awesome. Because we're twins in that.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I'm sluggish.
Meanwhile, I'm over there doing the Matrix, and
I know. It's like flawless execution. While the other two, like the stones, like hit you, and then it shifts its eyes, and it continues to hit you. And no matter how you try to dodge it, you keep hitting them accidentally.
so what is the difficulty if I wanted to take the what is it there, the meat cleaver
Mm-hmm.
to his neck?
So there are maneuvers in the book. So you can always use one maneuver for any of the combat stuff. So let me see. Oh, there we go. Combat maneuvers. So you could do a called attack would be a -3 on your attack mod.
Gotcha.
Do it.
All right, so
Do it.
all right, yeah, I'm gonna go for that because these two are distracting him.
Yeah, I will
So-
say the difficulty for this is 6. If you make it though, it's good times.
So, all right, this is starting off with is it strength?
Mhm.
So that's a 9 plus 1 is 10, and now you said it's a -3.
Correct. Yeah, for called shots.
So then we'll just say +1 for the. So it's 11.
Ooh, perfect. All right, go ahead and roll that damage.
All right, so D6 plus 1. A total of 6.
Excellent. All right, so because it's at a specific location, I'm going to roll on the exceptional hits table
Okay.
because I love me some tables.
I love me rolling heads.
All right, so the severity is 9 out of 12. Do you have a D6 handy?
Yep.
Why don't you go ahead and roll that?
4.
Cool. So ×2 damage. So go ahead.
So the damage that it gave you earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that? I think I said a 6, so it's a total of 12.
Ooh. And the impact is it's dislocated. So you're aiming for the head, so the neck just kind of using this meat cleaver tears through whatever its substance is made out of the neck. There's kind of this this pulsing like red mist that escapes from its neck, it's almost like popping a balloon as its head falls down to the ground. It
doesn't whiz around like a balloon.
Huh? Yes. I would know. Just kind of just flops onto the ground. You see this dust kind of leaking from its neck onto the ground.
Dust.
Yeah, the stones fall down.
Now let's get out of here.
You said it had like a spear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lance, a great lance. It's about like 7 feet long, but very thin.
I'm gonna skewer the head with it
Mm-hmm.
and just carry it over the shoulder. Maybe it's an aura of fear.
Yeah, I like it. All right, perfect. So you guys eventually get to that location, Tomo. You see there's almost like the little luminescent pattern on the door, something that you guys know the inhabitants of this planet won't be able to register for the most part, but is clear as day for you all. It's just this little hovel, 2 stories, because of the landscape of this lily pad.
I will work my way in to one check, see if anyone else is in there, and if not, definitely give the all clear so we can climb in and shut down.
Excellent. Yeah, there's no one in it. Inside, you everything's dusty. There are papers and letters addressed to you, Tomo, from the people you used to roll with. Each one sealed with that same sort of dust that leaked from that creature's head that you have.
Well, we'll just file the papers to the side and lean the spear over them. No need to bring up old past things,
Mhm.
and just kind of get comfy. And I will busy about using what we can to get something to to eat, to drink.
Excellent. There's a little pump in the center that you can just kind of push on that pulls some of the weird water. You guys know you've been drinking a very bitter water for the most part during your times. And that same water is being pumped out in this place too. It's very coppery in taste.
Amos chills for a few just because of all the paddling and everything else going on.
Mhm.
Need to catch her breath.
Yeah.
So the river was like a thick gel.
Mhm.
This is like a bile tasting drink we've been having the whole time.
Mhm.
There was the potato that was more like a digesting something. I just really just it's creepy. I'm just pointing that out.
It's good stuff. Tasty.
Taste.
So what do you guys do?
Tasty.
Like sitting in this hovel, it feels like this must be it. This is freedom, at least for the most part, right?
I don't know. Is there a way to get off this planet?
They've been farming us.
Yeah. Oh, maybe the next step's to create a revolution and kill them.
Well, yeah, that's what we were work. It's ironic, but assuming she got out, that's possible. That was the plan. There was something that she orchestrated in stealing to show the master didn't have full control, and that was to be used as kind of like a wake up call that we could do something. And
Was
the
it
goal
here?
was, no, it's not here. In fact, this went nothing like what was planned. Nothing. Right? There was a smart idea she had. There was people she wanted to talk to. It was going to take place after the ceremony. There's no way we would have been chosen, and then we were. Well,
Because they knew.
yeah, yeah. But then where'd she go? Or what was that? Why were the kids that we saw earlier? They're on.
I
don't
bet
know
you
what
they
that
were the
was.
previously chosen.
Do we even remember anything about the previously chosen?
Yeah. Now that like Amos has brought this up, like the pieces are starting to come together. Like that briefest of moments, I mean, it was a hard look, so you're not sure, but some of them did have a familiarity of the ones who had come before, the ones who had left.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they were using us as food as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna check slightly underneath the bandages, just to, like, are my feet better ish?
Now that you look at it, there's a very clear quality to the pigment of your foot skin. It looks like whatever poison or whatever got into your foot has kind of eaten away at the pigment. So you can kind of see more of your veins are pronounced.
So I'm translucent. This is cool.
Yeah, almost. Just with the foot, though.
If I'd stayed that in there, like I'd be invisible right now. That'd be great.
It's just trying to give you magical powers.
That's all.
That's warped. Invisible foot. All right. The next steps is we just have to get the word out. Like I said, they're surviving. If you don't prefer the term gangs, call them tribes if it helps. That are out here. We know they're out here. I know they're out here. We find them. We tell them what we know. Nobody knows what we know. But I think that's the very reason why we can't stay here more than a night.
I agree. We're gonna have to move around for a bit. Then at some point, hopefully, put a central base up and then work our way up from there.
Excellent. I love it. So with that kind of as there's really no like night and day. It's just eternal darkness
Right,
out
Because we're in
the
the
horizon.
giant stomach. Like,
Right.
essentially.
In the forest of dusk. It's
It's all good, but you can kind of feel the passing of time as everything just kind of winds down. Drowsiness starts to overtake, and with that, kind of before we close off this session, we'll go around to everyone, and I want to know, like, what are your final thoughts before you slip into sleep? What do you hope and dream, and what are kind of the next steps for your wee revolution?
Tomo is actually terrified of both Asiri and Amos. And the only reason he's still with them, because he saw the reason not to leave them. Right? For as bad as it was, I mean, stabbing someone randomly in the face and stuffing them like headfirst into a fire because they were flammable, that was
Allegedly.
allegedly. I had to say it. And I'm the gang member. So it was like, okay, all right, I'm not hard. That's not my lifestyle here for Tomo.
You're allegedly guilty by association.
But guilty or not, I'll take crazy same species over flying head tendril baby monster. And that's just the effect. Not to mention whatever he chopped up has mental psychic magic powers. So I think Tomoa would have great difficulty sleeping until he passed out and doesn't expect to wake up.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You got first watch then. Amos is exhausted and it like just curls up in a corner with his the little machete there and just passes out and just, exhausted from, all the peddling and killing and what he had to just to survive. And just, hopes for a better day when, we're not slaves.
Yeah. All right,
Siri is just hoping that the like translucent skin goes through his entire body because he's asleep. The adrenaline kind of helps kick it up a little bit more. Then he falls asleep because he's ready to stab somebody to beat if anybody fucks with his friends type thing. So it's like, fuck it. All right, time to go to sleep.
Excellent. All right, and with that, we will close off tonight. A couple of final words is definitely, once again, make sure to check out DriveThruRPG, Astral Tabletop, as well as virtualhorrorcom.com to check out all of the full schedules, as well as the amazing charities, which I believe are in the chat. I was and forever will be Mitchell, aka at Penny for a Tale. You can find me on any of that. We'll go around for one final goodbye as we end this night.
I want to thank everyone for coming out and watching us. Had a great time. Thanks for having us, of course, here at Gehenna Gaming as well. And naturally, you can contact us 25 years at whatever you like. We have it posted up there. And it was a joy to be with you guys today. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks to everyone for playing, and thanks, Mitch, for putting this together. I had a blast time. I am definitely on Twitter as One Unbeating Heart, and usually on Discord as One Unbeating Heart as well.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks everybody for popping in, giving us some support. If you can, there's the link in the chat for the charity. If you can, donate. If you can't, like help spread the word, like take that link, put it on your Twitter, put it in your Insta Faces or whatever the fuck you post on. Yeah, just help us help the charities that we're trying to help. I will be in Vancouver by night stuff tomorrow for 8 hours straight of just vampire shenanigan bullshit.
Yeah.
That sounds fabulous.
Yeah, we start at 1 p.m. PST over on Q Times channel, and then we go into my Vancouver adjacent game on the Level Up Dice channel, and then we go to my home game in Vancouver by night, and it's just bouncing around everywhere doing vampire shit for Jasper's game days. So yeah, check that out if you would like. And there's somebody in a fucking bunny suit on my thing.
Nice. I wish you guys could see the awesomeness of this, but I'm sure it will visit you one day tonight.
Oh
man. And with that, we will wave. Definitely check out all this stuff, and goodbye.
Bye.